Om Shanti. We were just listening to something very fascinating. I was just not listening, but also absorbing with the vibration that we can actually choose a winner in meditation. How many of us would like to be a part of that competition? Then we really don't need to wait till actually when that competition is going to be organized. Whether I'm doing my meditation the right way is visible every single day. Every single day. And ideally, I would not want to compete with somebody else, because it would always be in reference to myself. So what I am today, where I am 6 months later, where I am 6 years later, is my personal journey. I may not have reached a stage compared to someone else who's reached a much higher stage, but that should not make me feel as if my meditation is not going the right way. So of course it's beautiful to have that competition, but the comparison should be with the self. Should be with the self. It's like this white dress. If it's all stained, and let's say all of us are wearing white, and all of us have stains on it, everyone's is equally white, which means every soul is pure, divine. But on a journey of birth and death, and then birth and death, and so many situations, and so many different families, and everything that we went through, our stains are different today. Right? Our stains are different today. And leave alone many lifetimes, even this one lifetime will be different from you. So everyone's on a journey of cleaning those stains and reaching that pure divine state. But why that cannot be a competition is because each one's stains are different. And because this stain is different, the process of cleansing will be very different. So let's say, for example, I have only 2 stains, and someone here has 20 stains. And so we go in for a competition, and later on we find out that I have only 1 stain, and the other person has 10 stains. So who's the winner? Who's the winner? Think, who's the winner? Again, I have 2 when I started, and now I have 1. The other one had 20 when they started, and now they have 10. So who's the winner? Who's done more work? I had 2, and in all these years I was able to clean only 1 sanskar. And the other person had 20, and they were able to change 10 sanskars of themselves. So it will always be in reference to who I am. Who I am, and it's my journey. And most important is we would need to check our meditation every day in action. Because we've said this is my meditation time and this is my day-to-day action time. And so we meet a lot of people who say, I'm very peaceful while meditating. We can switch off the screen. We don't need the screen. So everyone feels peaceful while meditating. Did you notice that you immediately shifted towards the screen? And that's why in a program like this, never have screens. Because it is these screens which are affecting our meditation. It is these screens which are affecting our vibrations. Because we've got so addicted to them that we can be next to each other and yet prefer to look at the screen. And as a meditator, I will have to master my mind that there can be screens all around. And yet, my eyes don't have to go like this. So meditation means mastering my mind, mastering karam indriya, my sense organs, not while I'm meditating, but in action. In action, in a crisis, in a problem, that's where I will know where I have reached in my meditation. If I am peaceful while meditating, but stressed during the day, then I'm far away. I'm very far away. So meditation is not about feeling peaceful while meditating. Why would be stressed while meditating? Obviously, we'll be peaceful. But meditation means peaceful while in a crisis. Meditation means being compassionate when the other person is being rude and mean and insulting you. Meditation means forgiving even if the other person has cheated you, betrayed you. So that is meditation. So meditation is creating the power for me to be able to bring out those beautiful divine sanskars of the soul in action. So every single day, we will learn that where was I yesterday? Where was I last year? The graph has to go this way. In a world where the spiritual health, emotional health graph is going 2024, every time I do a public event, which could range from 100 to 1,000 to sometimes even bigger numbers. And I just ask one question. I just did that this morning also. Now it's become my favorite question, just to see where the world is. And I only ask one question. Kisko khushi chahiye? Who wants happiness? And I wish I could show you a video. They don't pause for 1 second to even think, okay, whether I want or whether I don't want, or everybody's looking at me. Should I raise my hand? Should I not raise my hand? Every single person there will just go like this. I want happiness. I want peace. I want love. So that is the collective consciousness of the planet right now, which means it's just not there in the air. And therefore, there are people who are wanting peace even though there's no problem in their life. Not that there's any crisis in their life. And while we were living like this, came COVID. And billions of people said COVID means stress, fear, anxiety. COVID got over. But those collective vibrations created by billions of souls in 2 years has shifted the vibration of the planet. And so after COVID, fear is a normal emotion. After COVID, fear, anxiety is coming natural to people without any challenge or crisis in their life. Before COVID also, we would lose a family member. We would go through pain, experience grief, but within a few months, come back to settling. Miss the person for a lifetime, but settled here emotionally. Post-COVID, I'm meeting people after 1 year of having lost someone, 2 years, and they are in pain, crying as if it just happened last week. And they said, I'm not being able to come out of this, which means grief is not settling. So a few years back, in this winter month, I had a very bad throat. I took all medicine possible up to steroid, and it was not getting okay also because of talking throughout the day. And that's when a pulmonologist told me, he said, wait till March. I said, matlab? He said, ye nahi theek hoga abhi. This is not going to settle. I said, why? He said, the air is polluted. So polluted air is not going to allow you to heal. And now I can see that happening emotionally. Polluted air is not allowing people's emotions to heal, whether it's pain, whether it's grief, whether it's fear, post-COVID. Because 2 years all over the planet creating that same vibration was enough to dip the vibration. Now what's the role of meditation? If 2 years, billions of people could dip the vibration of the planet, then a few months, millions of people together can just raise the vibration of the planet. And when we start raising the vibration of the planet, we are not just doing it for ourselves, but our vibrations are becoming a part of the collective vibration of the planet. So if I practice for 10 minutes in one corner in my house, that is changing the vibration of the planet is something I need to remember. So when all over the world, everybody is saying, oh, look at what's happened to the world, what are we supposed to do the world, or who's going to change the world? It's not going to be like this. It has to be I, and only I. And so let's take it out like a worldwide campaign, letting everybody pledge, making a personal commitment, whether they know how to meditate, whether they don't know how to meditate, let them just start sitting in silence for 10 minutes doing nothing. Because right now, people don't even sit for 10 seconds doing nothing. Like we just saw there, the attention-seeking phone. How many of us feel we are addicted to the phone? Meditators can't say this. We can't say this. So that addiction, if you see on a red signal, if someone is driving and they get to stop for 30 seconds, they use that 30 seconds to check their phone. So even if we get every school student, every college student, every employee of every organization to just pledge 5 minutes, 10 minutes sitting in silence on a daily basis. And now, since we have the 21st of December day, let's not do it on that day. By that day, let's get the figures of everyone who was ready to do it for at least 6 months. Pledge your 10 minutes to create a peaceful, powerful world. Can't just sit back across the TV screen and say, what a mess the world is. This war is not getting over. This is not getting over. It is terror in our minds which creates terror in the world. It is lust in my mind which will create abuse in the world. It is pain in my mind which will create humiliation in the world. And it's greed in my mind which creates corruption in the world. So even one person chooses to shift, we are shifting the world. And that's why in Hindi it is said, Sankalp se srishti banti hai. Our thoughts create our world. It's not our world creates our thoughts. Today we are living the other way around. This is the state of the world, so this is how I'm feeling. So first, each one of us who's been practicing it on a daily basis has to start seeing the change. And to be able to create a change, along with meditation, we need to add a few minutes of study of the right way of living. At the Brahma Kumaris, we say we have 4 subjects of study. First is Gyan. Gyan means the knowledge, the wisdom. I'm a soul. First important, soul consciousness to finish ego. And I'm a beautiful, divine, pure, powerful soul. Then, of course, how to think, how to speak, how to behave in every situation. That's Gyan, knowledge. So every single day we are studying 365 days of the year. 365 days of the year, if I inject into my mind the right way of thinking, the right way of speaking, the right way of behaving, automatically it will change my behavior. Second subject, meditation. So internalize the Gyan, meditate to create the power to bring the Gyan into action. Because we know what is right, but we say, but what to do? When the situation came, I reacted. So I don't have the power to implement what I know is right. So Gyan tells me what is right to do. Meditation will give us the power to implement that right. Third subject becomes dharana, which means now that becomes your personality. I cannot say I meditate daily, and then while in action, I'm getting stressed, I'm reacting, I'm getting angry, I'm getting hurt. Then I don't have a right to say to the world I meditate daily. They will say, Achha, even after meditating, if you're like this, I'm also like this. Fine, why should I sit 10 minutes every day? So we have to become that ambassador of meditation through our practical lifestyle, wherever we are. We are working, we are traveling. Nowadays, if you see at the airports, people scream, shout, abuse, they can react for any little thing that's happening. There you be there, that meditator, just radiating that peace and calm in the flight. And just being there is telling people, I need to shift. They will learn that how can this one person be so peaceful in all this chaos here? So we cannot always talk about meditation. We will have to be that practical example of meditation in the world. Because people otherwise don't know why they should take out 10 minutes. Because if you tell someone, sit for 10 minutes, he says, I have so much to do in 10 minutes. Why should I just sit like this? Because there is a time crisis going on the planet. Everybody is very busy. So we will have to live that meditation lifestyle. So the third subject is dharana, the inculcation of it in my lifestyle. And the fourth subject is seva. Who we are automatically radiates to the world. So automatically radiates to the world. So it starts with Gyan, with Yoga, with Dharana, and with Seva. And if these 4 subjects we take care of, then we shift in our personality from ego consciousness, role consciousness, relationship consciousness, religion consciousness, nationality consciousness, to soul consciousness. We want the world to be one family. It's not possible till we practice soul consciousness, because always there will be barriers otherwise. But I'm a soul, you are a soul, we are one family. no barrier of anything that's acquired. Those are all important, but they are my roles. That is not I. That's not I. That is mine. So when we practice all four together, then we are not meditating few minutes a day. Then we are living a meditative lifestyle. So the need of the hour is a meditative lifestyle, not just few minutes daily, because the vibration is dipping. And so if I don't take care of it throughout the day, that vibration will influence me and I will not be that peaceful self. And if I'm not my peaceful self during the day, then tomorrow morning when I sit for meditation, there'll be a lot of clutter here. So my tomorrow morning's meditation is dependent on how my today's been. If today I was able to handle every scene very peacefully, calm, and then most important to meditate before going to sleep. Everyone says it's very important to meditate in the morning. Very important. But to have good meditation in the morning, meditate at night. Which means before going to sleep, clean the clutter. If there was any reaction during the day, forgive, seek forgiveness, settle any karmic baggage of the day so that it doesn't go into the subconscious. If it goes into the subconscious, then tomorrow morning when I sit for meditation, all those thoughts will pop up there. And then I may sit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and I'm still not being able to make my mind still because there was so much noise in the night on my mind, which during my sleep just got processed even more. So if we silence our mind in the night before going to sleep, then in the morning it's easy. Then it's morning, it's easy. And then taking care during the day. Another thing that we do at the Brahma Kumaris, which is very powerful, is 1 minute meditation every hour. 1 minute every hour. It's called the traffic control of the mind. So we have an app, and after every 1 hour, there will be 60 seconds of music. And wherever we are, whatever we are doing, in having a meal, in a conversation, in a meeting, except for when we are driving, we will always stop. Always stop. And take that 1 minute, again go back to that stage like, I am a divine soul. Bring yourself in that sthiti and just stay there for 1 minute. And that effect of that 1 minute lasts for a lot of minutes in the next 1 hour. And when we are again going back to the ordinary stage, and it's time for that next 1 minute. So it's like charging your phone in the morning. Earlier we used to charge our phone in the morning, and by the end of the day it was. But now because we're using the phone so much, so we carry our power banks with us. So we charge in the morning, keep charging during the day. Anywhere, at the airport, in the mall, in a restaurant, even if we find a charger somewhere for 5 minutes, we charge our phone. How many of us do that? Charge wherever we get that plug there. So that's traffic control of the mind. Meditating in the morning, but every hour taking that 1 minute pause, meditating again, so that by the end of the day, the state of the mind is the same or even higher than during the day. And then meditate in the night before going to sleep is very important. Like many of us take a shower before we go to sleep, so that all the clutter of the day, it's all just cleansed off. Similarly, shower here. Very important. And that will give us deep sleep in less number of hours. In an age and world where everybody is talking about sleeping longer, especially all doctors telling us to sleep 8-9 hours. 4-5 hours is more than enough on a daily basis. We don't need more than that, obviously, provided we are sleeping deep. And if I really want to work on my mind, there's one aspect which needs to be taken care of, and that's the food we eat. Now medically proved, spiritually we know it since thousands of years. In Hindi it's called Jaisa Ann, Vaisa Man. In English we say you are what you eat. But that you are what you eat is not getting understood because we thought this is the body. So we thought you are what you eat means this body is becoming what I eat. So in Hindi the line is right ke Jaisa Ann, Vaisa Man hota hai, which means what I eat is going to become the state of my mind. And now doctors are talking about the gut and mind connection. So as is the health of the gut, so will be the state of the mind. So in order to create peace and calm here throughout the day, my food plays an extremely important role. If I am having a diet which is a different energy, so obviously very strictly vegetarian diet, not a diet which has pain, not a diet which has violence, not a diet which has somebody's grief, someone's crying. That cannot be our food. So a vegetarian diet, but more than vegetarian diet also. So vegetarian is not enough only. Nowadays, we're too much into the culture of eating out. Eating out is a very different vibrational food. Because imagine where food is being cooked for profit, first of all. So the fundamental energy is for profit. It's not for nutrition. And second, it's being cooked in a hurried manner. We want to create a still mind, and we are eating food cooked in a hurried manner. It will clash with us. So the best thing is, as far as possible, unless we are traveling, eat only home-cooked food. And food cooked in a silent mind. So at the Brahma Kumaris, our big focus is meditation while cooking. While cooking is fundamental at our place, fundamental. So even if we have a campus where we get about 25,000-30,000 guests, and they will stay there for a week, 10 days. Even if the number increases, only those who meditate accurately on a daily basis are allowed to cook. There was nothing that will come from outside, whether it's bread, whether it's biscuit, whether it's ice cream, whether it's anything. Everything is cooked within the campus. Another experiment that what we are doing nowadays, it's called yogic kheti, which means meditative agriculture. So meditation in the farms. So the farmers are taught how to meditate. They will first meditate with the seed. And then they meditate in the farm 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, daily basis. And of course, the Ministry of Agriculture is looking into it all. The produce, the color, the size, the taste, but most important, the feel. It's like a difference how you get a vegetable from your own garden and vegetable from the market. Is there a difference? Why should there be a difference? Because you've done it with more love, that care. So it is the vibration of the plant which changes. So while growing, the vibration of the plant will change, but all of us can't get our own grown vegetables, but we can take care of while cooking. While cooking, we can take care. So meditation while cooking is extremely important. Very silent state of mind, playing some soothing meditation music, meditating while cooking. And then what we do after the meal is ready, we will take a little sample of everything that's been cooked, go and sit in the meditation room, focused meditation, 10 minutes at least with the food. And then go back and add that to the rest of the meal. Goes on to the dining table, food is in the plate, everyone individual meditation before they start eating. So there is a step of how the food has to finally reach the gut and influence the mind. No screen while eating. It's meditative cooking, meditative eating. So no screen while eating and no, ideally silence while eating. Ideally, silence while eating. But if not, then only high vibrational words, just remembering that my food is absorbing every word spoken on this table. And whatever word the food absorbs, that will become my predominant thought. So right from who's cooking to how it's being cooked and then how it's being eaten is going to affect our meditation. So sometimes when we say I'm doing, but I'm not able to really do it with full concentration, because it's not just meditation, there are a lot of other dimensions to the state of mind. So what we watch, read, listen, eat, drink, all this is going to influence our state of mind. We never have a glass of water without pausing at least 30 seconds to meditate with it. Because the water has the vibration of the city. In Hindi it is said, "Kaun se shahar ka pani peete ho?" Right? What is the meaning of that line? Which city water do you drink? Because the water has the vibration of the city. Now we know the vibration of every city. So if I just pick up a glass of water and drink like this, I'm consuming stress, I'm consuming anger, I'm consuming pain. So COVID, the emotion also got absorbed by the water on the planet. And then that water is being had by everybody. So water, just take a 30-second pause. Hold your glass of water. Just say 2-3 nice high vibrational words to your water and say, I'm a divine being, I'm a powerful being, I'm a calm in every situation. Change the energy. That is converting water to amrit, food to prasad. So that is meditation. So very little simple 30-second, 1-minute steps. These are all part of the meditative journey. So that then while in action, there is no influence on us which can actually pull us down, but we can raise our vibration and radiate that vibration and influence the vibration of the planet. So what we watch, read, listen. So anyone who's on this journey cannot consume low vibrational content. Last entire 10 days has been only conversation about content creation, right? But we've all just put the finger out there and said, how can content creators do this? Question is, how are content consumers not choosing right? Why are content consumers not choosing right? If a content consumer chooses right, why is the creator going to create anything like that? So we really can't put the finger out there like that every time. The more we consume it, the more they create it, the more they create it, the more we consume it. So, meditation will not be effective till I am choosing the right content. So high vibrational content only, leave alone low vibrational, not even ordinary content. Because anything that's going inside me is becoming a part of my thought process. And if I consume turbulent content, my mind will not be still. My mind will not be silent. And I will not have that power to be able to radiate that vibration to the planet. So sankalp se srishti banti hai. Our thoughts create our world. The world is waiting for the world to change. But everybody is just waiting for the world to change. We can all become the instruments to create that change. And all that we have to do is create the change in one person. Only one person. So when I change myself, I'm contributing to changing the world. Thank you.
For more details about Project Excellence, write to us at excellence@buddhaceo.org.